What's up, y'all? It's Shuffle, and today's video is 5 mistakes that beginners make in Cult of the Lamb. I made several of these myself as well, so I speak from experience, and my goal is to help make sure that new players that are looking for entry-level stuff don't run into the same common issues. There are also no spoilers in this video, so don't be worried about that. These 5 mistakes aren't in any particular order, so don't consider one more egregious than the other, but to start off, the first mistake, and this is one that plagued me for about half of my playthrough, is not setting up proper resource renewals such as mines and farms. Some of the very early unlocks that you have access to are farm plots and mines and lumber yards. These are important because it provides a steady stream of food, wood, and stone for your base. Even though the mines can collapse over time and having steady food production via seeds can be a bit annoying, it is still important to have these going because it will keep your base up and running with less and less investment from you over time, especially when you get some of the later versions of these facilities, which allow them to become more automated and last longer. Without turning this into a base management guide specifically, I think 2 lumber yards and 2 mines are good enough for pretty much the entire game. And then as far as feeding your cult goes with the farms, having 1 square, so to speak, with the farm surrounded by farm plots is good per 10 cultists, so a really easy ratio to remember. You set it up like this, you should not run into any resource issues for the entire game. Mistake number 2, players will sometimes focus either too much on doing the crusades, which are the missions, or they will focus too much on base management. It's very easy to get caught up doing one or the other. The reason this is a mistake is because if you spend too much time doing crusades, your base is going to start falling apart because you're never there to maintain it. On the other hand, if you want to continuously do base management, such as helping your followers build stuff, talking to each of them every day to boost loyalty and get tithes or whatever other rituals and doctrines you have, you're going to be in base literally the entire game. So it's really important to only be there as much as you need to and only be on crusades for as long as you need to be. Mistake number 3 is target priority. There are quite a few easy to make combat mistakes for beginners, but I think one of the ones that would help out the most is to understand the right way to pick targets when you're doing fights that aren't, bosses. This is something that also comes with experience, so you have to understand which enemies give you trouble personally, but when you walk into a room, just kind of take stock for the first second that you get before everything goes into chaos and see what the problem enemies for you are, and then try and get rid of them quickly, especially if they have low HP. Some big enemies may be the most dangerous on the field, but it will take you, 10, 20 seconds or whatever to kill them, and that's way too long while the little critters are hitting you. Usually I try and prioritize the weakest things I can reach quickly, or something that's really super annoying like the charging bats. The goal is to take as many of the enemy actions off of the field as possible as quickly as you can. Number 4 is a mistake I make all the time, and that is not recruiting your new followers before performing sermon. If you do not go to the little portal and get your followers and indoctrinate them, and then do sermon afterwards, you're missing out on faith and devotion in the long run. If it happens once or twice, obviously it's not going to break your game, but if you're doing this for, a 15-hour stretch, it will matter. Make sure you finish your recruiting before you do anything else, and also do not do sermon during nighttime because they will be pissed off. No one likes to be waking up for forced propaganda. Number 5 is the point I really want to stress, and that is having ways to deal with problem cultists. Problem cultists only fall into 2 categories, and one is dissenters. So those are the ones that when faith gets low, they get angry and they start telling your other followers that everything sucks and pissing them off. That is one category of a problem cultist. The other is if they are old. There's nothing inherently wrong with being old, of course, but if you have old cultists and you don't have the proper doctrines that help you mitigate people dying in terms of faith and resources and all that, then having them die of natural causes and just lay out, in the sun in the middle of your village is going to be detrimental. With that in mind, just make sure you have at least 2 ways to deal with these types of situations. For dissenters, having 1 or 2 jails, usually 2 is good enough to keep most of your dissenters checked. Make sure you re-educate them after they are jailed. And then for dissenters and the elderly, there are quite a few rituals you can do, either sacrificing them, ascending them, or killing them in fight pits, or sending them on missionary work that is very risky, are all ways to get rid of these units. As long as you are able to do this, the only way you'll really lose substantial amounts of faith is if you die in a crusade, and that's going to happen. Alright, y'all, that's gonna do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you're thinking down below in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff. And if you want to check out the cool links in the box like Discord, Twitter, Twitch, and Patreon, that'd be much appreciated. For upcoming cult videos, I have one that's focused on a fervor build that I've ran a couple times that's been very successful. And then I will do a proper base management guide as well as a quick tier list for weapons and curses. At some point, I'll get around to uploading my playthrough to the main channel most likely. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.